This is Super Yacht News with E. Sisman.
Hi, welcome back to the channel. Okay, a lot going on, so let's dive straight in. First one is Motor Yacht Dilbar. There's some movement there in Hamburg. So a little quick backstory on Dilbar, 156 meter or 511 foot super yacht, the largest super yacht by volume in the world, has been in Hamburg since March. Alisher Usmanov, the owner, was placed on the sanctions list, and as a result, he can't move the vessel. The vessel was in a dry dock facility at the time, and it was completely covered because I think it was probably having a paint job. And the vessel was obviously it was left in limbo because once he was sanctioned, he couldn't pay it for any of his crew or the bills for the shipyard. Lursen hired a small crew of 5 to look after the vessel. Well, in the last couple of days, the people have noticed that the tarp has started to come off the vessel and the scaffolding is being disassembled, which suggests that the vessel is going back in the water. Now, what is happening is Alisher Usmanov getting his yacht back? Well, no, he's not. What is basically happening right now, this is as far as we can work out because we haven't been able to get any reply from anybody. But the vessel is probably being moved because they need the dry dock facility, and that vessel's been blocking that facility for 4 months now. So I think that's probably what's happening there. So as I said, the Lursen hired a crew because obviously Mr. Usmanov can't pay, and they're not allowed to accept money from him because he's sanctioned. They hired a crew to look after the vessel. I think they were living ashore and then going to the vessel each day. But if the vessel is going back in the water, then they'll have to increase that crew from 5 to probably like 18 to 22 or something like that, because you need to have a minimum manning. So if the vessel's in the water and it has to be ready to go in case there's some emergency or something like that. So you have to have that many crew on board. I don't know what the exact numbers are for that vessel, but I've worked out it's probably between 18 and 22. So yeah, are they allowed to move the vessel? Well, obviously they would have to ask permission from the German government if it's okay to move the vessel, but I'm sure the German government will understand because Lursen is, after all, a company that needs to make money. They don't want to see them going out of business, do they? Mr. Usmanov did file an appeal, which I covered on this channel recently, and he appealed against the sanctions against him and his 2 sisters, and that appeal failed. So yeah, if anybody who's in that area happens to get any more video footage or photographs, I'd be happy to receive them through the normal methods, which I'll talk about at the end of the video. Thanks very much to the contributor for sending these in as well. Okay, so we'll move on to the next story now. High profile people tonight. Roman Abramovich. If you remember about a week ago, I don't even remember how long ago it was now, but it was probably about a week ago, 10 days ago, we talked about Motor Yacht Garçon. This is a support vessel that he bought, and he got it converted into a hospital ship, sources have told me. Well, the vessel was arrested in Antigua with another vessel, Motor Yacht Halo, which is like a 50-meter super yacht, which Roman Abramovich owns both of those vessels. And the Garçon changed its flag state recently, and we covered it on the channel, changed the flag state from Bermuda to the Cook Islands. Now, I said at the time that, is this the first of all of his vessels? Because he has a fleet of vessels. Well, today I noticed that Motor Yacht Halo has now changed. That's the vessel that's docked next to Garçon in Antigua. That vessel has now changed from Bermuda to the Cook Islands also. So it's quite interesting. And as I said, it's probably the first of many. It would be very interesting now to see if that continues through the rest of his fleet. Now, I had heard that he was having trouble with Bermuda, the flag state that he's used for all these years. Every vessel he's had has been, as far as I know, with Bermuda. So there's another vessel actually in La Ciotat, which is believed to still belong to him, and it's called Sosuro. It's a very high-speed yacht. It's quite a small yacht for him. But that vessel has been, the last time I saw it was in dry dock in La Ciotat. And as far as I checked today, it's still there. And that vessel is a Bermuda registered vessel. And I would be interested to see if that one changes also. So I'll keep track of all of these yachts. and if anything comes up, then we'll put it on the channel. Okay, so we'll move on to the next story. This is a bit of good news, I suppose. Fedship has a technical launch of their latest build. Now, in other yachting press, it says the launch of a highly secretive yacht. Now, that's just what you want to have right now, isn't it? Is a very highly secretive yacht. In the days of sanctions and ultimate beneficial owners and stuff, that's exactly what you need. Is a highly secretive yacht. Anyway, the vessel doesn't have a build number, which is the norm. It doesn't have a project number, which is the norm, like Project Lightning. This one is just known as 1011. Anyway, the vessel has been technically launched because it's not completed. It's just basically a hull, probably got the engines in place, and it's going to be moved. And it launched at the Zwijnenburg shipyard, I believe it's pronounced. I'm sorry if I butchered it. And it's going to another shipyard called the Mackham shipyard, which is where it will be outfitted and completed. It's not due to be delivered until 2024. What is interesting about this vessel is I had a subscriber send me some photographs, and initially it looks a lot like, I thought they were old photographs of Steven Spielberg's new yacht, which is the one that Oceanco were building. Because I think the superstructure looks very similar, but it has a different shaped bow. But I thought that was quite interesting that it's a kind of different kind of looking vessel for Fedship, but it just kind of looks like the Oceanco boat. The video footage there that was sent in, you can see that bridge, the King's Harbour Bridge is just in the background there. So that is quite interesting that it's just downriver from that bridge that's been getting all these headlines recently. Okay, so one more story before I go, and that is a bit of sea rage, or a bit of joyriding more like. This vessel has been sent to me by a few people. This was in Norway a couple of days ago. The vessel was unknown at the time of the video being produced. The video went out onto the news in Norway, and the vessel was seen blasting through this very narrow strait, up by a place which I'm not even going to try and pronounce. I'll put the name on the screen. And there's a very narrow strait. I think I've narrowed it down to the actual location, just on the houses and stuff that I can see in that video. And you can see here, very narrow, very shallow. As you can see in the video, you can actually see the bottom where there are some stones coming up quite high. And that vessel comes blasting through the speed limit for that strait apparently is 5 knots. And that vessel is clearly not doing 5 knots. What is interesting is if you go on Marine Traffic and you look at the photographs of this vessel, in every photograph, it's like that. The bow is sticking out of the water and there's a big wake behind it as it's blasting through the water. So it seems like that vessel is always driven at that kind of speed. Now, the vessel's a 24-meter or 78-foot yacht, and the name of the vessel has been identified as Motor Yacht Big Beaver. Now, it's quite an interesting name, isn't it, for us English speakers? But what's interesting about this story is the MMSI number on this vessel. When you type it into any app, AIS app, Marine Traffic, Fleetmon, or Vessel Finder, it shows up 3 separate yachts with the same MMSI number. Now, if you look at each one of these, one of them is a sailing vessel. I think it's called UCN. One of them is Big Bear, and the other one is another vessel which is called Catherine. They're all in different locations. One of them is in Poland, one of them is in Saint-Tropez, and the Big Beaver vessel is still in Norway, obviously. And also, interestingly, Big Beaver has not broadcast its AIS location for the last 2 days, probably because that story got out about the video, with the video in of them going crazy. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. If you've got any information about any of these stories or any other stories that we haven't covered tonight, please get in touch through the normal fashion. You can get us through the About page of YouTube channel. You can get us on Instagram, on Facebook Messenger, and you can also now get us on Threema. And Threema is very good because it's completely anonymous. You do not have to register your phone number or your email address to set up an account. Scan this thing on the screen here to get through to us, or you can type in this code and that will get you through to us too. All right, thanks very much for watching, and I'll catch up with you soon. Oh, and one last thing, be sure to like this video, be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and be sure to hit the bell there for future notifications. It is quite interesting to note that over 60% of my viewers are not subscribers. So it's free of charge, everyone. So please subscribe. All right. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.